Hey everybody, we're on for the live coaches chat. This one I hope will save to my phone, so I apologize for those that were trying to watch it in the app. For some reason, Facebook would not allow me to save this live video feed to my phone the past week, and so I'm going to try to figure that out. I think I fixed it, but we shall see. Anyway, welcome guys. It is week 11. I mean, seriously, this thing is almost over. You are in the final home stretch. You know, we've got about, a week and a half left. And even though we only have a week and a half left, we still got some really great lessons. Still have some really great lessons coming up in week 12. Trying to, solidify that new brain retrain that you've been going through. And so as the weeks have built up, we've been preaching consistency, but this week is really all about the importance of that consistency, and then also importance of accountability. I think on Sunday you got a lesson talking about that, the importance of accountability and consistency, because really consistency is the king. It doesn't matter what plan, what regimen you are following. If you cannot be consistent at it, it's not going to matter in the long run. If you simply put, if you can't be consistent, you cannot make progress. So starting and stopping, on for 2 weeks, off for 2 weeks type of thing is never going to get you anywhere. And so, while other ways to lose weight or make body composition changes, there might be faster ways to do that. But you have to really think, is that something that you actually need? Is that something that you can actually stay consistent at for a lifetime so your results stick? And so it's like this big secret that nobody wants to say out loud, is that you have to do what healthy people do to keep your results. But it doesn't have to be complicated. As you've learned in the challenge, it's all about simple daily actions, simple steps that you build upon that give you the help that you have or help you keep your results. So while it's really tempting to go to that complicated, think you need to do more type of thing, the magic lives in level one habits. So, regardless of what stage you're in, I'm not saying that you can't, push the boundaries or whatever and be stricter in whatever you do. The lesson here is we never go below those level one habits. And once you're good at those level one habits, they become you become the habits. You become the person that just does these things. You become the person that is a water drinker, and you don't even have to think about it. Like if the waiter comes to the table and asks you what you want to drink, you just say water automatically. There's no other choice for you. Same thing about when you're, making a meal, building your meal. I guarantee you, majority of you are always going to think, I better have a plan on my plate. Oh, I need a protein. You're always going to have this little mental checklist, regardless if you're being super strict or if you're in a season of, where you're hitting it hard. So that's what we say when we say that we never want you to go below. We always want you to be habitually thinking of these things. And when you do that, that creates consistency. And then that allows you to stay in this healthier range, in this healthier lifestyle for a lifetime. And so, so while patterns matter and habits, autopilot habits matter, when you do want to say step it up a notch, accountability is really important, and your environment. I read a quote just the other day that said, make your environment mirror your goals. And so if your environment does not foster healthy actions, or it does not facilitate choices said towards goal, that they're in line with your goal, you're never going to be able to stick with whatever you're trying to do. So your environment matters. And so through these 12 weeks, that's what you've been doing. You have been rebuilding your environment. You have been rebuilding your mindset of how you're supposed to go about this, and little by little changing those daily actions and those lifestyle habits so you become this new person. Where you started in setup week, you're not that person anymore. You have grown into a person that does these things, and it becomes easier and easier as the weeks progress. Yes, of course, there was a lot of learning curve going on, and it's probably still some icky spots, because 12 weeks really isn't that long. You're going to be ever evolving and ever changing when it comes to your eating habits, your goals, what your body composition, what you're comfortable with, what you're okay with trading off, for whatever period of time that you're in. So it's really important to understand that accountability matters when you want to start changing the process. And so we've mentioned, in weeks past, we talked about, who your tribe is, and who you're around the most matters. And it's so important for whenever you're trying to make progress and trying to stick to it whenever things get really icky. Like, I have a group of people that keep me on track. Even when I'm at my low point where I'm not motivated and I don't want to do something, I've still got those people where they'll, chime in and give me a little, it might be a guilt trip, or it might just be some encouragement. But regardless, I've tied myself to certain people that I know are going to help me through icky spots. And so I hope that you guys have, built some kind of support tribe, whether it's your family, or it could not be your family, it could be somebody outside of your family. But as long as you have some kind of accountability, not meaning that they're trying to make you feel bad about doing something, they're just trying to keep you on the path of, making your environment mirror your goals. And so whether or not you have like this struggle bus going on, knowing that you can look back at what you were doing just 11 weeks ago. Like, go back to your setup week food log. That's always a big eye opener for everybody. Go back to that's another form of accountability, is your food log. But if you don't have somebody talking some sense into you that you've made great progress, I want you to go back to that setup week food log, and even your client questionnaire that you filled out, your 5 whys, all that you did in the beginning. I want you to go back and look at it, and then assess how much you've actually grown. Because it's really hard for us to understand how much progress we've really had when you're sitting there critiquing yourself every single day. I've talked to several people that are like, oh, I fell off a little bit, Halloween, holidays, just murdered some people. But, the point is that you got back on, and your thought process about why you get back on and how you got back on that train has changed tremendously from week 1. So it's not always those, scale victories. It is a lot of non-scale victories, of mindset and systems that you've put in place that are way different from what you were just doing almost 3 months ago. So pat yourself on the back for that. That's something that a lot of people don't even think about doing, and when they don't think about those little bitty milestones that can encourage them, they don't realize how good you are doing and how far ahead you truly are, because you're just looking at the physical. It's not always about the physical. So now we're going to switch gears about that and go into the physical. We talked a little bit about on Tuesday, we talked about your social network. What I mentioned, about who you are around matters, and your social network is powerfully strong for your progress. But I think on tomorrow is a good lesson about the physical aspects of changes. So a lot of people, when they first sign up, obviously everybody has the goal of changing their body composition, whether you're trying to gain muscle or lose fat. You know, we've gone over this in week 7 where we talked a lot about types of exercise and what types of exercise give you certain body types. This lesson is asking you a simple question of, why do you work out? And why do you work out is going to determine how you work out and how you think about yourself when you work out. Now, do you work out to, say, burn calories and burn off the debauchery of the weekend? Or do you work out to make yourself stronger? You feel better after you work out. You do it because you feel like your body needs it, type of thing. 2 totally different mindsets when you're going into a workout. One of them is punishment and one of them is reward. It's not supposed to be punishment. Now, I would be lying if I told you that I never did any type of like, oh my gosh, I've got to go run 10 miles, type of. I don't run 10 miles, but I'm just saying that I felt like I needed to because I had some debauchery. I've had those thoughts, but that's not why I work out. It is not why I lift weights. I lift weights because I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. I want to feel capable of doing physical things. And so we talk about in that lesson that perspective of, not going into a workout where it's punishment, where you're going to dread it, but going into a workout where where it's more of a positive. So like where you're trying to be faster, stronger, fitter, because you want to be a harder human to kill type of mentality. You want to be an athlete rather than, somebody that's being, put through the ringer because they ate a donut. That's not how you stick. The point is to be able to stick to the habit of movement, to stick to the habit of working out. And you don't do that by continuously being negative on yourself. You have to flip the script to a more positive light so you understand that it's not all about just burning as many calories as you possibly can. One big thing is like, I do hard workouts, but I don't necessarily feel like I have to kill myself every single workout. But some people, I think you have to do intense workouts like all the time to make progress. And it's not that way. Progress in the gym and muscle building, body composition changes like that are a healthy route, a healthy time period, take years, sometimes months. Like if you're in the beginning and you're first time worker outer and you just started, you have these things called Newbie Gains, I like to call them, where you make a lot of progress fast and then it slows down. But once you get to a certain threshold, yes, it's going to take years for you to, continually to get stronger. And then you reach a point where you'd have to do so much more to make even more progress that you become where, you're okay. I call it fit enough. But to get to that stage where you're fit, like I'll use myself as an example. Like I chased PRs, personal records, for a long time, where I went into the gym and I was like, I am going to crush this. I've got to get stronger. I'm gonna, push my limits. That's how I got to the point where where I am in my life, PRs are not important, but I'm also at a point where I can maintain what I have now and not crush my body. So if you're trying to get to a point where you feel fit enough or strong, or you're happy with your body composition, you're happy with, your fitness, you do have to work harder to do that. So if you're frustrated with where you're at, you have to ask yourself, have you become complacent in the gym? Have you become a person that, doesn't push themselves with intensity, doesn't try to put a little extra weight on the bar each week to see if you can do it? You may not be able to do it as fast as you did, a lighter weight or whatever it is in the workout, but you tried to be a little bit better. So just like how we've always said, be a little bit better with your eating habits. That's what you need to try to do and think about when you're in the gym, when you're in that season that you're trying to change your body. You're not trying to maintain, you're trying to change. So with change, you have to up the ante. You have to up the level to where you facilitate, your body is stressed to change, to adapt to it. So that's what that lesson is about. Number one, it's start thinking about your workouts differently. It's not punishment, it's a reward. You are becoming an athlete. You are a person that is trying to be, when there's the apocalypse running from zombies, you're not going to get eaten because you train faster than somebody else. The other thing is, don't become complacent in the weight room. If your goal is to be toned and athletic looking, you have to train like a person that has that body. You become that, not right off the bat. You become that person slowly through gradually adding intensity to certain workouts. And then also learning how to rest and recover. So if you do a hard workout and you're super sore, that's not an excuse to take an entire week off unless you're injured. But it is a message to yourself to say, hey, I may need to go a little bit lighter, and that's okay to go lighter on this day so I can work out with intensity the next day. It's learning how to read your body and understand the process. So anyway, we will leave it there because I could obviously go on forever about that. But, coming up, next week is week 12. This weekend, you will get instructions on how to turn in your final your week 1 pictures and week 12 pictures. You'll be sending that through email. Now, you'll get your measurement cards on Saturday to upload your measurements and all that stuff, but you will be turning in your week 1 with your week 12 pictures for the $1,000 progress picture vote coming up next week. You'll have to turn that in by Wednesday, and like I said, you'll get instructions on that. A lot of people have asked questions about continuing on past their challenge. We do have the Habit Tracker app program, which allows you to just pay like a monthly fee, and you get to keep your app on, and you also get to keep all the lessons that you've had in your challenge. So whatever is attached to your account in the app will stay on, and you'll actually get instructions on that next week. So you don't want to turn it on just yet because you're still running your CK challenge right now, but you'll get instructions on that if you want to keep your app on and keep all your information. But if you have any questions, leading up to anything, just let me know and I will get to you, or ask your coach. If you have any questions about like the why do you work out lesson, it's a good lesson, and a good lesson to start some conversation about intensity of your workouts, complacency, and all that stuff. Just let us know, and we will see y'all next week again for week 12. Bye-bye.